Fundamentals, phase 2, day 8. Everything's still going all right. I have a slight, I think it's a stage 1 or grade 1, I'm not sure what they call it anymore, strain. So it's fine. I can do everything, all the range of motions. It's just you feel it a little bit tender. So it might seem counterintuitive, but you don't stretch it. You don't want to pull it out, but you do want to aid blood flow through to it. You want to get a foam roller or one of those awesome balls that my partner gave me, which is like sort of a knobby looking ball instead of a squash ball or something that we used to use that you put underneath it and roll on the floor and the part and just get that blood working through that area. As a result, within 24 hours from yesterday, it's already starting to feel a lot better. So I'm giving myself a couple of days just to avoid sprinting and just to focus on my other agonist, antagonist training on my upper body and just some gentle skipping and some running and something to that effect, just to keep the blood flowing and to aid the healing. The one thing you don't want to do, which is a meme, is the compression rice, or what is it, rest ice compression elevation. I mean, it might be, you can do both, you can do the rice method and the meth method, as it's known as. I think that's quite funny. Don't do meth, but you can apply the meth method, which is sort of movement, heat, and just keeping it active, basically. I can't remember what it stands for. It's been so long that I've needed it. You want to keep the thing moving that's damaged, and you'll work out the problem that way a lot better. So that's what I have been doing. And other than that, just still very simple at the gym, just 50 minutes to an hour tops. That includes warm up, just doing all through the motions, high reps, stupidly low intensity. That's what makes the high reps possible. The more reps that I've been doing are actually on stuff like my flex bar and stuff, really trying to make sure that all my joints and my arms are strong enough that I'm not going to get any sort of tendonitis or bursitis issues over the next few months when I start raising it up for the next phase. At this stage, you're really just working through all the motions, just trying to make sure everything works, make sure that you've got no problems, and if anything arises, then you can focus on them. Start working on things like I'm working on my posture, things that I know are going to create problems if I don't iron them out. This is what this phase is all about. It's not about going and wrecking yourself at the gym. If you've been there before at any high level performance, you'll know that if you follow your brain's always going to be stronger than your body after an injury, and you're just going to get wrecked. So don't do that. Just go right back to the start and start again, as frustrating as it can be. To me, it's awfully frustrating, feels so slow. That's why audio books, music, I even take some manuals of training that I'm doing at the moment to the gym, so I can look into that to not focus on how boring and mundane the easy training is, but it's essential. You really want to dial it in. As a result, yesterday with my hamstring issue, I was just finding that I was taking it very easy, did some skipping because it didn't really load up my hamstring at all, but just aids the blood flow a bit and gets that cardiovascular rhythm going. Cycling doesn't affect it either, which is great. It's literally just hard running, so that's how I know where it came from. And it should be fun. If you haven't been there before and you've never trained, then this should be fun. And if you have trained before and you want to get back to a certain level, just keep your eyes on the prize. No, you will get back there. Of course you'll get back there. There will be some different methods that you'll have to apply to make sure that you don't get injured. And it will just take time. And that's what this is all about. So this is what I'll be continuing to work for this week, is just continuing to explain what I'm doing and what you can be doing as well in preparation for going to the gym and stepping it up to another level. Even from this level of training, it's just too cold. I was freezing cold when I was doing, trying to show the development that I'm getting. I'll just try and make some summary videos maybe when the heating's on. But I'm getting a lot more conditioning. My body fat is going down from my restrictive diet enormously. And just from that, I'm looking more muscular, and because my muscles are still there, they don't disappear, they're just not pumped up. So if you're doing all these agonist and antagonist moves and you look in the mirror after the gym, you look massive. And if you're doing this every day or every other day, the difference will be within a week or two. Like, the people don't have the consistency. If they had the consistency, they would see what I'm talking about and be like, man, just 2 weeks or a month, if I do this every day for 30 minutes or 40 minutes, I can totally change the way my body looks. People would do it, but people don't do it because they've never seen the difference before. That's what I really want to stress, is the consistency is the most important part. The weights are arbitrary, the exercise difficulty is arbitrary, the CrossFit people are memes. It's obvious, they're just going to wreck themselves, and for what? It's that Eastbound and Down quote, like, why do I want to be the best at exercising, which is something that my jiu-jitsu instructor always quotes. Kenny Powers, I can't remember the character's name, but it's true. Why do you want to be the best at exercising? You just want to be healthy, and you want to be fit, and you want to be able to apply that fitness to whatever it is that you're doing. Say if you're walking, playing with your kids, whatever exercises you do, like cycling or whatever, you just want to be on that game. You don't want to go out and destroy yourself, and if you do, then you better be getting money for it. You know, you better be getting sponsored for it, or you better be getting money for it, else you're really wasting your time. 6 minutes long video, sorry about that, but I just went on a rant. Sounds like me. See you guys.